When Magic the Gathering first released in 1993, few could have foreseen the disgusting mess it would become in 30 years. Few probably even believed the game would last to be older than many of its players, but it has, and the years have not been kind to it. Gone are the times of Urza's Saga, a story of Machiavellian wizards in a classic fantasy world with a tinge of steampunk, but only so much to give the world something distinctive. These anti-heroes, considered by some to be villains, were the center of the Magic story. Now in 2024, we are once again finding ourselves in a Magic story centered around villains with the release of the Outlaws of Thunder Junction set. But gone is the soulful fantasy world, with a depth to it too, while not rival Tolkien, perhaps at least be in the same order of magnitude. In its place is a shameless Wild West fantasy world with no artistry that was clearly made by social justice warriors in a corporate boardroom. It has followed a trend that began with Theros, arguably with Innistrad, of magic worlds that are nearly direct rip-offs of real-world cultures. Theros was Greek, Amonkhet was Egyptian, Kaldheim was Norse. Some of these are done well, others are just shameless stereotypes. Now the stereotype is the Old West, sans any references to Native Americans, of course, which would automatically be offensive. No one cares about that, though. The true shock would be to someone from even 2004 who saw the state of the game today. A miniature essay on each card, meant for the ultimate soy boy power wank format, Commander, a type of Magic play that is entirely centered around a legendary creature. You get to start with access to every game. It quickly took over as the most popular way to play, and only further solidified the special snowflake mindset of Magic. A game about sacrificing creatures, whether in combat or unholy ritual, to win at all costs. Creatures have become so much more powerful over the years that it might as well be called Creatures the Gathering. And aside from that, the lore has become slop. It is puerile shit reminiscent of Marvel, so bland and generic and masturbatory, and reading like a middle schooler wrote it. There is no vision, merely childish imitation of a vague collection of tropes. These is nothing compelling. Nothing like Urza's many sacrifices and cruel acts meant to protect the world from Phyrexians at the cost of his own soul. Now the heroes are teenage, angst-ridden Mary Sues. It's hard to say anything good about Magic, other than the plethora of cards available now. The number of cards banned per year has increased more and more. The company has put out worthless products and shameless cash grabs that are an insult to its fans, yet they still keep buying that garbage. Many Magic the Gathering players would mock Donald Trump for his comment about how he could shoot someone and still have the support of his followers. Yet those same Magic players continue to line up to buy $40 secret layers from a company who sent armed men to the house of a man who dared to post a video of himself opening a new set a few days early. As if there was anything worth spoiling. The new Magic lore is a freak show of multicolored mutts rendered in CGI art. The controversy over AI art on Magic cards is a non-issue. If there were to be AI art on Magic cards, it would actually be less soulless than what they are currently using. The old days of Magic are gone, and this could be tolerable if it had been replaced with something of actual artistic and creative merit. The story is bad, the game is bad, the characters are unlikable freak shit, and the game is almost indiscernible from a modern game of Dungeons and Dragons, which resembles a more brightly colored version of the Star Wars Mos Eisley Cantina. Who can profess to enjoy this without feeling embarrassed for themselves? Is this the inevitable end result of popularity and success? To be ground down into flavorless feed for the huddle masses of hygiene-challenged, low-jeans-wearing crack-fat asses, or the flannel-clad hipsters who now infest the hobby, or the hordes of hoodie-wearing slack-jawed losers who work at Amazon or some low-grade factory and go home in their Honda Civic to their weed-stained studio apartment and play Magic Arena online for hours, wasting their hard-earned wages on digital cards that Wizards of the Coast can take away from them should they refuse to properly pronounce a planeswalker's pronouns. The game has been paused ever since Alicia, who smiles at death, was released, and it has only gotten worse. Wizards now donates to charities that promote child mutilation. The social justice takeover of Wizards of the Coast is complete, and the most cringeworthy, forced female empowerment now saturates the story. Not that Magic ever wanted for strong female characters, but if there is one thing that SJWs are good at, it's solving problems that don't exist.